It's time to make it, just give it a try. 'Cause you can make it like the old fat guy.
Welcome to this episode of You Can Make It. I'm David Farrell, the old fat guy. Today we're going to make something waffle. No, not something awful, something waffle. We're going to make yeast waffles. Now, why wouldn't you just buy a mix and make waffles or make them up scratch or whatever? Well, you see, when you make yeast waffles, you make them the night before. And by making them the night before, it means you have everything all mixed up, sitting in the fridge ready to go. And when you're serving your family, your guests on a special day, the batter's already done. You just got to cook it up. So it's quite convenient, and it makes for an easier job the next day because you've done all the prep work up front. Now, to make yeast waffles is actually simplicity itself. The night before you're going to cook the waffles, you're going to take 400 milliliters of milk and 90 milliliters of butter. So that's 1 2/3 cups of milk or 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of butter. Now, I melted the butter first. It just works better. So pour the butter into the milk. And then we're going to put this in the microwave for about a minute because we want to get up around 120 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit because it helps activate the yeast if it's warm. So excuse me while I put this in the microwave. So I heated my milk and butter up in the microwave. And you want it between 120 and 130 degrees, which that is. It actually took a minute and a half. Weaker microwaves might take 2 minutes. But if you don't have a thermometer, just put your little finger in there, and if it feels warm but not hot, you're fine. So we'll just set that aside for a second. And what we have here in this bowl is 375 milliliters, or 1.5 cups of flour. I suggest you go by weight, which that is 195 grams, because it's more accurate. But that's in there. And what I have on this plate is a 1/2 cup, or 125 milliliters of whole wheat flour, which is 65 grams. And I have here 8 milliliters, or 1.5 teaspoon of instant rise yeast, fast rise yeast, quick rise yeast. There's a whole bunch of names, but you want the quick yeast. And what I have here is 3 milliliters, or 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add that to the flour. And just give it a quick stir to sort of mix them together. And then I'm just going to go grab a spoon. And we'll give that a stir up a bit more. And we're going to add to that our milk and butter mixture. Just pour it in the center and stir it until you get a nice batter. And don't worry about a few lumps. They will work out as it sits in the fridge overnight, but you just want to get it all stirred together. There we go. So we'll set that batter aside for a minute because we're going to make some additions to it right now. And the additions are that what I have in here is 40 milliliters, or 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. And I have 2 eggs I'm going to add to that. And 5 milliliters, or 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Got to be exact, of course. And then we're just going to beat that with a whisk. You can use the fork to do this, just do it a bit longer, or you can use a rotary mixer. So once it's all mixed together, we'll just bring our batter mixture back and add this to it. And give it a stir in. Again, don't worry about a few lumps showing up. They're going to disappear by tomorrow. So now that we've got it stirred together, we're just going to let that sit on the counter here for 20 minutes. So I'll see you in 20 minutes. Our batter is sat for 20 minutes, and all we have to do now is just scrape down the sides to get as much as we can off the edge of the bowl into the batter. So just scrape it down. There we go. There's always going to be a little bit left up there, don't worry about it. And once you've got the sides scraped down, what we're going to do is put some plastic wrap over the top of it. There we are. So once we've got it covered with plastic wrap, this is going to go into the refrigerator for between 12 and 24 hours, at which time we'll be able to cook some waffles. I'll see you tomorrow. I made my pancake batter up last night, and I put it in the fridge overnight, and as you can see, it all got kind of foamy and fluffed up. Don't worry about it. That's what's supposed to happen. You just want to stir that down back into a liquid, into a batter. So there we go. And we are now ready to cook with it. So what we're going to do is we have a preheated waffle iron. Follow the instructions of your waffle iron to get it up to temperature. This one tells me with a green light that it is ready to cook waffles. So I'll just put some waffles in my waffle maker. Now this is a big one. It's got 2 halves. And they tell me it's supposed to be about a half cup of batter for each half. So we'll just put about a half cup of batter on that side. And a half cup of batter on this side. And we'll close the lid. Now, every waffle iron's a little different. This one takes about 5 minutes, but to really tell when your waffle's done, you want to wait until there's not steam coming out at the sides much anymore. So it's going to take 4 or 5 minutes. I'll see you then. The waffles have been cooking about 5 minutes, and you can tell I put just a little bit too much in because there's a few dribbles. That's why I put it on a tray. But you'll see there's hardly any steam left, just a little bit showing around the edges. That lets you know it's ready. So let's take a look. Nice golden brown waffles. Aren't they beautiful? So we're just going to lift them off of the waffle iron and put them on a plate. Now, you can go ahead and cook some more waffles. If you want to serve them all at once, put these on a tray or a plate, cover them with a towel, and put them in a 200-degree oven until you're ready to serve them all at once. I do think they're best if you serve them right off the iron, but they're okay if you heat them up, and they're really good toasted the next day too. But let's try these ones. So I'm just going to give them a little smear here. Nice little bit of butter. Some maple syrup. I do like my maple syrup. And just take a bite. You see they're nice and crispy on the outside. And let's give it a bite. Crispy on the outside with a really nice creamy interior, a different texture than you get from the ones you buy from the mix. This is a really great waffle. It's got a nice bready flavor. The yeast adds a bit more flavor. It's got maple syrup in the dough. It's crispy, it's perfect, and you can make it the night before so you're not busy the next day when you have company, and the best part of all, you can make it.
I have a good woman, I ain't good looking, but I do some cooking, I'm the old fat guy. So use that oven if you want some lovin'. Be like the old fat guy. Be like the old fat guy.